description of crazy, but when you start getting in certain areas, they're not gonna actually be compassionate for what's going on with him, or because he's not crazy where he doesn't know what he's saying. He knows exactly
There
what he's
is a
saying.
Britney Spears connection in the new Diddy lawsuit. Some of the people named were also the ones involved in Britney Spears' conservatorship, and now they are being dragged down
Not
with Diddy.
only was Corey Gamble extremely close to Kim Porter and Diddy, he was there. He was there when the coroners arrived to Kim Porter's house after 911 was called. Am I crazy? That's Corey Gamble, 100%. Not in the blue, the one right behind
So,
him.
if you thought 50 Cent was done airing out Diddy and his alleged industry accomplice, wait till you hear what he allegedly exposed about Kim Kardashian's ties to Diddy. The Kardashians have been keeping silent about the whole Diddy drama, but here's the kicker. Kim quietly hit that unfollow button on Diddy's IG account just 24 hours before Homeland Security came knocking on his door last month. Coincidence? Maybe not. People are buzzing, speculating that maybe someone gave Kim a heads up to distance herself from Diddy quickly before the whole thing blew over. And a few suspects are being thrown in the mix, including Lou Taylor, Britney Spears' former business manager who reportedly masterminded her conservatorship, and even Kris Jenner's sketchy boyfriend, Corey Gamble. Speaking of Corey, brace yourself for this one. Some pretty unsettling allegations have surfaced linking him to the tragic passing of Diddy's ex, Kim Porter. By the way, remember when Kanye went on about Corey being CIA? Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's get into it. Yes, Corey's CIA-like. He didn't have to say it. I know it. Y'all, this Diddy saga has the whole industry in shambles, and it seems like every day a new A-lister is exposed for being part of Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise. Now, whether Kim Kardashian is considered an A-lister is debatable, but what's not debatable are her family's close ties to Diddy and his rumored accomplice. There are two main links between Diddy and the Kardashians that we need to discuss: Lou Taylor and Corey Gamble. So let's start with Lou because this woman's name keeps popping up in all kinds of sketchy Hollywood scandals. Lou Taylor is Britney Spears' former business manager who was accused of being involved in Britney's conservatorship and pocketing millions from Britney's estate. Even Britney's mom, Lynn, confirmed in her memoir that it was Lou who gave Britney's dad, Jamie, the idea for conservatorship shortly after Britney was put on that 5150 involuntary hold back in 2008.
January 22nd approached. According to Lynn's tell-all, Lou Taylor and Britney's father felt God telling them to wait, saying quiet plans had been underway for 6 weeks for Jamie to petition the court for temporary conservatorship of Britney. But it seemed like an impossible dream at that point, with Sam still so entrenched in her life. In fact, Jamie was going to file for the conservatorship on January 22nd, 8 days beforehand. But he and his business manager, Lou, felt God leading them to wait, fast, and pray, despite the frustration of a phalanx.
But Britney later said her mom, Lynn, was also involved in the conservatorship plot. And back in November 2021, Britney publicly claimed that Lynn and Lou Taylor together convinced her dad, Jamie, to start the conservatorship. But see, Britney isn't the only person Lou Taylor allegedly tried to exploit. Lou is rumored to have tried the same strategy with many other troubled young stars, including Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes, and Justin Bieber. Lou was also recently accused by Courtney Love of trying to take over her date. Courtney blasted Lou on Twitter, calling him a guard dog, a SSD, and a spin doctor. Well, that explains why the Kardashians embraced Lou Taylor as one of their own. So remember when Kanye had that major crisis in 2020 and escaped to Wyoming, claiming that Kim and Kris were trying to lock him up? Well, allegedly Kim and Kris were indeed plotting to put Kanye under conservatorship. And word on the street is that they asked Lou Taylor to help them orchestrate the whole thing. But they reportedly abandoned the plan once Kanye started publicly exposing them. By the way, the Kardashians aren't just friendly with Elle Taylor. They actually have strong business ties. According to documents obtained by Page 6, Lou and his company Tristar were listed as a registered agent for a bunch of Jenner companies, including King Kylie LLC, King Kylie Holdings, and KKW Fragrance. And then during Kim and Kanye's divorce, documents surfaced showing that Kim listed Lou as the manager of her trust fund. Now, you're probably wondering, what does all this have to do with Diddy? Lou and Diddy go way back, and they apparently met back in the 90s when they both worked with Uptown Records. And get this. Disturbing rumors recently circulated that Lou reached out to Diddy, tasking him to supply Britney with substances ahead of her infamous 2007 VMAs performance, which took place just months before Britney was placed under conservatorship. The night before the VMAs, Britney partied with Diddy in Vegas, and word on the street is that her VMA performance was planned and orchestrated as a final humiliation ritual to show the public that Britney was unwell and needed a guardian. According to People magazine, on September 8, 2007, the night before the VMAs, Britney made at least 2 club stops filled with dancing and champagne. On Friday night ahead of the VMAs, first hanging with magician and illusionist Criss Angel, then hitting up a party thrown by Diddy. People said that Britney first partied at Body English Club in the Hard Rock Hotel and then went to Pure Nightclub, where she received a warm welcome from Diddy. Allegedly, that night Diddy gave Britney spiked drinks, which led to her disastrous VMAs performance the following day.
Perhaps her performance was less than polished because of all the partying she got in Sin City rather than rehearsal time. Late Friday night, Britney hit 3 hotspots and was snapped at Caesar's Palace at Pure Nightclub with P. Diddy. Saturday night, she hit the dance floor again. And last night, after leaving the awards, Britney was spotted at Noir Nightclub until 2:30 this morning, where she apparently spent most of her time in the restroom.
But that's not all, y'all. So you know how Diddy is being sued by producer Lil Rod for running RICO Enterprise. Well, Lil Rod mentioned in his lawsuit that Diddy's accountant, Robin Greenhill, was in charge of wiring funds transfer or cash payments to S-workers. And guess what? Robin Greenhill happens to be an executive at Lou Taylor's company who had an active role in helping Britney's dad spy on her during the conservatorship, according to Britney's former security, Alex Lasov. Robin Greenhill suggested setting up an iPad loaded with Britney's iCloud account so it would mirror all her activity, and this way they could see all of her messages, notes, call logs, browser history, and photos. But if you thought this was shocking, wait till you hear about Jenner's wide-hipped boy toy, Corey Gamble, and his ties with Diddy. So you know how Corey just appeared out of nowhere and no one knows what he actually did for a living before becoming Chris's gigolo? Well, according to Kanye West, that's because Corey has deep ties with government agencies and worked as one of those celebrity handlers. Remember when Kanye said that he was worried about what type of handlers are in the Kardashians' house and around his kids? Well, word on the street is that he was talking about Corey.
If Harley was part of intelligence, right, what kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house right now?
And this wasn't the first time Kanye expressed concern about Corey. Way back in 2019, he tried to warn Kim about Corey and questioned why none of the Kardashian members had met Corey's family. Kanye texts Corey something really rude. Kanye was like, "I think it's weird, like we've never met his family. That's weird." And then in the summer of 2020, when Kanye made headlines by claiming Kris and Kim were trying to lock him up, he also called out Corey and said he didn't want Kris or Corey around his kids. Kanye tweeted, "Kris, don't play with me, you and that Kier are not allowed around my children. Y'all tried to lock me up." Now fast forward to 2022, and Kanye again came for Corey. And this time he brought up Corey's connection to Diddy and his alleged role as Justin Bieber's handler. Kanye described Corey as godless and said God has a plan to remove the god. CIA. But here's where it gets even more sinister. Turns out Corey has been close with Diddy for ages, so close that when Diddy's ex, Kim Porter, died suddenly in 2018, Corey was one of the first people at the scene.
Who am I just now finding out that not only was Corey Gamble extremely close to Kim Porter and Diddy, he was there. He was there when the coroners arrived to Kim Porter's house after 911 was called. Am I crazy? That's Corey Gamble, 100%. Not in the blue, the one right behind him. Like, I don't even have a theory. I'm just confused. And we're going to talk about this in the deep dive. But Kim Porter, when she passed away, there was obviously discrepancies in police reports versus coroner reports. Another thing we know for a fact is P. Diddy had her entire home wired with audio listening devices and video cameras. Was her passing caught on camera? Does Diddy have footage of Kim Porter passing away? Just don't get it. How has this man been everywhere, have connections with everyone, but he is really only known as Christian?
Besides that, Corey and Kris never tried to hide their friendship with Diddy, and they often attended his star-studded parties. But now that Diddy is officially being investigated by Homeland Security, Kris and Kim are said to be panicking over their ties with Diddy. Kim unfollowing Diddy when the heat is on is hilarious. One fan said, and another one said, it won't make a difference. What's hilarious is the proof is there already. But do you think there's enough proof that the Kardashians were involved in Diddy's shady business? And how do you feel about Lou Taylor and Corey Gamble having such close ties to both Diddy and the Kardashians? Leave your comments below and don't miss out on this next video.